All right, here we go. Well, find a nice seat and sit up tall. See if you can find nice long spine, but not be too energetic about lifting up. Just close your eyes. Start following your breath. And place your right hand on your heart and your left hand on top of that. You can just feel your chest rise and fall as you breathe. And just move your hands down to your side ribs so you can kind of cup your side ribs. Think I engage the ribs to get a little taller, and then notice the expansion and contraction as you breathe here. And feel it in all directions, so front, back, and sides. Now move your right hand to your belly and your left hand to your back. I have to use the back of my hand to really feel it in the low back area. And again, just feel expansion and contraction as you breathe here. Just move your hands back to your lap or your knees, wherever it feels comfortable. And just enjoy the freedom of your breath. I ran across something that I really liked about our spiritual evolution, if you will. And it says we grow spiritually by passing beyond some perfect order through an often painful and seemingly unnecessary disorder, and then eventually to an enlightened reorder. This is the pattern that connects and solidifies our relationship with everything around us. So let me just kind of give you a little bit more. So order is when we're young, the first stage. We feel innocent and safe. Our parents tell us exactly what we can believe. Everything is basically good. We're naive. And a lot of times we try to stay in this first satisfying explanation of how things should be. So we avoid confusion, conflict, inconsistencies, suffering. And then at some point, we will be deeply disappointed by what we were originally taught, by where our choices have led us, or by the seemingly random tragedies that take place in our lives. Maybe a death, a disease, a disruption to our normal way of thinking. Unfortunately, it's necessary if any real growth is to occur for us to go through these disorderly times. And some people just try to return to order, right? We don't accept reality. Or they go into depression. They decide that there's no universal order. There's nothing good. Get very angry, opinionated, dogmatic. They search for solid ground. Those are the two stages. Either go back to order or get very frustrated. But then there's this reorder that we can embark on, where we learn that darkness and light can really coexist, and that paradox can be okay in our lives. We're finally at home in the only world that ever existed where there is lightness and dark. This is true and contemplative knowing. Your death is a part of life, and failure is a part of victory. Opposites collide and unite, and everything belongs. And that's the teaching of Hatha Yoga, where we embrace everything that happens to us. It's all a part of the process, especially if we believe that there's a higher order of things. Bring hands to heart center. May we all embrace the concept of reorder, where it's all a part of living. We're much more likely to notice and catch the grace and the beauty that's always there. Please lower your hands, open your eyes, and stretch your arms up, feeling that nice long spine, and then just bend your elbows and grab your elbows with your hands, like you're framing your head, and then like this, arc to your right. And come up and over to your left. Keep your rib cage drawing back so you feel super long. And come back to center. And then just interlace your hands and cup them behind your head and press your head into your hands. And this time, twist to your right and twist to your left. Coming back to center, just move your right hand right to the middle of your upper back. Grab your elbow, your left hand, a little tricep stretch. And then switch. Triceps feel tight this morning. And breathe. And then stretch your arms up again and maybe fold forward. Show your hips. And then come on back up. And come to all fours position. And just move through some cow and cat. Taking your time. Be mindful with your back. And then pause in a flat back and extend your right leg off to the right. Move forward and back a little bit. Feel the stretch on the inner thigh. And then pick it up, move it straight back, and stretch through the ball of your foot. And pick it up, bring it off to the other side, and then twist and look at it. Feel a nice stretch, the outside of the leg. And bring it in, and we'll do that on the other side. So left foot off. We're just going to stretch all sides of our legs to start. And moving it back behind you, stretching through the calf. And bringing it up and over to the outside. Be mindful, stretch outside of the leg. I like to keep the ball of the foot grounded. And coming on back, take a child's pose. And walk your hands way out in front and then widen them right to the edges of the sticky mat. And picking up the right hand, place it on top of the left. Shift your hips to the right a little bit. And breathe. And go ahead and switch. And come back. And just come all the way back up to all fours. And however you can, step your right foot up. So you're in like an Anjane position. Just feel that for a moment. Maybe bring your hands to your front thigh. Bend a little deeper. Stretch out the front of the left thigh there. And then bring both hands to the inside of the right foot and wiggle that foot off to the side a little bit. So you feel stretch on the inner thigh, maybe widen the knee. Come up on the little toe side of your foot if that feels good. And you can use blocks here too, but if you want to, you can lower it to your left elbow. Maybe your right. For a humbling humble. And then coming back up on your hands, wiggle that foot right in front of the sits bone. So it's in Anjane position again. And this time, come upright and stretch up to Anjane. And touch down. And now slide your hips back to straighten the front leg. For runner's lunge, just take a few moments here, stretching that out. I'm gonna close that door. I don't know how that got open. Breathing, stretching the toes if it feels good. My air's running nonstop. It gets loud if I don't have that door closed. And I don't understand how it keeps getting open. And bend back into your front knee. Ghost. Now wiggle your foot to the left. And see, maybe you can come up on the little toe side of your left or of your right foot to open that hip. You can slide the heel back if it's too intense. If you want to, you can lower the knee. Maybe even stretch out, just keep hugging knee to knee. Big stretch in the hip. Pigeon prep pose. And then coming back up, point the toes on that right foot so you can just slide that back to all fours, and we'll do the other side because it feels super uneven, right? So left foot comes forward. Keep your hips square, hands to the front thigh, and just stretching out the front of the right thigh. And then bring both hands to the inside. Wiggle that foot a little wider. Just feel out the inner thigh there. Keep a nice long spine. If you want to go deeper, free. If it takes your breath away, it's probably too deep. So just go with a good stretch for you. And come on back up. Bring that foot back in line so your left hand's on the outside. Hug to the midline and stretch up to Anjane. More breath. And touch down. As you do, slide your hips back. Straighten the left leg. Runner's lunge. Just play with drawing the leg into the socket, maybe flexing and pointing toes. Good. Bend back into the front knee. Wiggle that foot over to the right side, maybe back towards you a bit. So your hands can go in front. And then just play with where you want to go here. Go all the way down or not. Pigeon prep. Deep hip opener. And don't just sag into it. I want you to feel like you're drawing your knees towards each other. The hips stay square. Shoulders stay square. And then pointing the toes as you come up, slide back to all fours, and then all the way back to a child's pose. Please slide all the way forward onto your belly. Hands by your chest. Just gauge a couple of cobras with your breath. And then push back to all fours. Curling the toes, lift to a downward bogey. Walk your dogs out. Your shoulders safe. Hips up and back. Your rib cage engaged. Then please come forward to plank. And lower to the mat. Inhale to cobra. Exhale back down. And push back downward facing dog. And walk your hands back towards your feet. Coming to a forward fold back there. Again, just see maybe you can grab your elbows here, framing your head this way. And then slowly roll up, rounding all the way up. And extend your arms up over your head in that frame position. And again, arc to your right. Up and over to your left. Back to center. Interlace your hands. Press your head into your hands. And twist. And come to the left. And back to center. Right hand down. Left hand to the elbow. Don't have to do much else to feel that stretch, but you can lengthen the sides. Good. And then switch. And then stretching the arms all the way up. Look up even. A big stretch everywhere. And then please fold forward again. Konasana. Really using all parts of your feet. Encourages you to use all parts of your legs as well. And then keep your arms all the way up again. And bring hands down through heart center. Good, now turn sideways on your mat and take a wide stance. And just kind of swing your arms side to side, let gravity kind of do it. You don't have to do much. Feels nice, right? And then stretch your arms up, bend the elbows, grab the elbows, arc to your right. Notice the difference. Maybe you can arc further, maybe not. Come back to center, look to the left. And back to center. Cup the back of your head. Press the head into the hands. Feel how your rib cage engages more. Maybe your legs do too when you press. Then twist. And come back and twist the other direction. Keep pressing the head into the hands. Come back to center. And stretch the arms up. and fold forward. Restorative. Shake out your head. We feel, again, feel all parts of your feet working so that all parts of your legs are and then slowly roll up to standing. And just your right leg and foot, turn those out, bend into the front knee. Feel that back leg. Bring your left hand to your hip, your right elbow to your knee. Turn your belly and your chest open. Still feel the back foot engaging. Maybe extend the left arm. Rib cage back. Clavicles broadening, the shoulder blades on the back. Stretch the arm by the ear. Palm down. Good. Stretch the arm up. And then come up to a warrior two. Just really feel how strong you are in the legs. On your next inhale, straighten the front leg. And come into triangle pose. Feel the pose from the base up. Lengthen up through the top of the head. Broaden the clavicles. Hooking the feet towards each other. Come back up. And turn your right foot forward. Turn your left foot and leg out. Bend into the front knee. And bring the left elbow down. You can stretch the right arm up when you're ready. Think belly and chest forward, knee tracking straight. Maybe arm by the ear. Konasana. Let's stretch the arm up, come back up to warrior two. Notice building the pose from the base up. Hugging the feet together. Come up to our legs straight and fold into triangle. Take your time, feeling it out. With the legs open a little bit more. Feel some freedom here to really lengthen your spine. On back up, that straight leg. Turn your foot forward. Stretch your arms up, bend your right hand to place it in the front. or in the back, grab your elbow. And switch. Had you hold your arms up for a long time, so stretch them back out. Hold both arms up and fold forward again. And I'm having you hold a wide stance for a super long time. Notice if you're still utilizing all parts of your feet, all parts of your legs. And then coming up like a pranam, just heel, toe, do a regular forward fold, a relief. And then come on down to a seated position and stretch both of your legs out long. And if you're feeling really tight in your hamstrings still, feel free to sit on a blanket. Bend just your right knee. Ask yourself if that feels good or if you want more stretch. Maybe you do. Just bring it across so the foot grounds down. And then lengthen up. Maybe grab the knee with your left hand and twist to your right. Every inhale, I like to think of length, rib cage back. And remembering your breath in all parts. And then on your exhale, perhaps you've made a little space. You can twist a little deeper. And then coming back to center, just bring that foot so that this leg's still straight ahead. This foot's on the inner thigh. If that doesn't feel good on your knee, feel free to just stretch that leg out. And then facing your outstretched leg, maybe reach for the outside of the shin or the ankle or the foot. Janu Shirshasana, just thinking, I want to stretch my spine out long over that leg. Feel it in your hip as well. Get your way back up. Feel good. Stretch your legs long. And we'll do that on the other side. So bending the left knee. Bringing it across if that feels okay. Lengthen up and engage the twist. Ardha Matsyendrasana, name of this pose. Once you feel like you're fully twisted, forgot to do this on the other side. Just turn your head back and look over your right shoulder. Stretch out your neck as well. And then come back to center. Bring that foot to the inner thigh. I'm going to bring a blanket under my knee. That feels better for my special knee. And then reach across wherever it feels good. Just go for a Janu Shirshasana stretch. And come on up. Stretch that leg long. And just engage a forward fold here. Lengthen out the low back. That's to add the length there, even though tendency is to round it. Just go as deep, just length, and then maybe round over it a little bit. And then come on up. We're going to try that restorative pose. And the idea of restorative is to put yourself in a position where you get a stretch, but it feels like a safe stretch. So I'm going to have you try this. Put one block at the high height, the next block at the medium or low height. And you can actually do it at the low height, and then maybe this one medium to start. Then you can always change it up. Grab your thicker, stiffer blanket, and you're going to want to have a pretty long roll. So just roll it up. And you're just going to place it on top of this little configuration. And then you're going to sit with your tailbone kind of up against, not on top, but up against. And then you just carefully lay back over the blocks. And you can always, yeah, you can always curl this top of the blanket to make more of a little pillow. And then about bringing the soles of the feet together, letting your knees open. And if you want, this feels really good too, make a long skinny roll with your blanket, other blanket, your floppier blanket, if you will, and bring that across your ankles and then just bring it around on each side of your hips to kind of support your hips there. That makes sense. Go far enough. And then just allow yourself to get to a place where you feel like, yeah, I'm getting a little stretch, but it's just a therapeutic stretch called supta, badda, konasana. Hopefully at home you're getting that. Yeah. I'm just going to leave you in this position for a while. If it ever gets to the point where your inner thighs don't feel therapeutic anymore, just stretch your legs out long. I just wanted to point out to you that sometimes in our bodies, we have that order, disorder, and reorder. Like every time I do a little yoga, get a little reorder in my body, which helps me reorder the rest of my life. Every now and then, unexpected things happen in our body as well. To figure out how to get it back to a better alignment. Maybe we have to deal with that disorder. We can appreciate it and work with it, right? The idea of restoratives, to not have to do any work. Let gravity and the props do the work. Notice if you're holding tension, try to allow the props to take over. One more minute in this position. Now, if you're super comfortable, You want to stay like this for Shavasana, feel free. Or two other options, you can just stretch your legs out long and stay on the other props. Or you could slide off of everything and just come into a regular Shavasana position. Your choice. Relax your jaw. Relax your tongue. It's one of the strongest muscles in your body. Allow it to relax. Relax your shoulders. Your belly and your low back, even though they stay moving and expanding with your breath. A really soft belly. Relax your legs and your feet. Of your You continue to just relax for a few more moments. I wanted to share a reading from Marianne Williamson. When things in the world are troubling, my need is not to join in the chaos, but to cleave to the peace within. The way to gain power in a world that is moving too fast is to learn to slow down. The only way to spread one's influence wide is to learn to go deep. The world I want for myself will not emerge from electronic speed, but rather from a spiritual stillness that takes root in my soul. Then and only then can I create a world that delights my spirit instead of one that shatters it. Order, disorder, reorder. Whenever you feel disorder, all you need to do is embrace whatever's happening, knowing that it's part of a greater plan. So start to pay attention to your breath again, noticing as it travels through the lungs, presses down on the diaphragm, expands the belly, and the low back, and moves back out. Slowly begin your transition back to seated, remembering that you may be still up high. Eventually finding good, tall, seated position. Thought that a cooling practice was in order today. In light of the heat, please bring hands to heart center. Thank you for helping me get reordered this morning. Namaste. Guys, hopefully the restorative felt good.